out of my loneliness, because we were new to the area, we were considered outsiders. And you got to remember, this is 1959. So a different era, different thing. School was not good for us because the teachers actually ridiculed us. The house that we moved into was a 170-year-old, no plumbing, no water, no indoor facilities. It was an outhouse. The roof leaked. It was atrocious. And my sister and I were basically left there, to fend for ourselves. So out of the desperation of loneliness, abandonment, and everything, I would go to this hilltop by the farm. And if you get my book, you'll see a picture of the hilltop and me sitting at the bottom of the hill with my dog. But anyway, I would walk up that hill many, many days and lay on my back and ask God what was going to become of me. And I was in such a deep, dark place that my heart was just totally opened. And I made this trip so many times, and all of a sudden, one day I heard a voice say, and I don't know if it was external or internal, but I'll tell you, as a 9-year-old, it scared the willies out of me. But I heard this voice say, just your job to be good. Just do good and become a doer. Just become. I made that trip so many times and had that conversation with God over and over, what was going to become of me. Finally, at 17, I figured out going in the United States Marine Corps was my escape from the farm.
Yeah, for
sure. But you have to remember, I was leaving my sister.
Oh, wow.
So I had a lot of stuff, and my mom would come and go, and my dad would come and go, but we were still basically had to figure out life on our own, my sister and I. So anyway, I go into the Marine Corps, and of course, the Marine Corps builds discipline, structure, all of the things actually I was craving.
Wow. Yeah, I'm
Everything was, and God led me there. And God protected me through Vietnam. And God has protected me every day of my life since then. He has watched over me and blessed me in so many ways. And I will give you proof of it here in a little bit. But to move forward, many, many years through life, I got married. I had 3 children of my own. Great life, just tried to do the best I always could. And then in 2003, the rug was pulled out from under me when my wife of 35 years was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I kind of buckled down. My business, I put everything on hold and took care of her for 3 years, and she passed away in 2006. She left me with so many blessings in so many ways, such a beautiful person and strong woman. But I had promised her that I wouldn't fall apart, and she had told our kids, watch Dad. She knew me.
Yes.
And in 2006, September 16th, she passed away from ovarian cancer. I fell apart. I'm at our ranch in Austin, Texas, and 3 years go by, and I've started drinking things I had never done. Just started doing stuff that was not good. I didn't ever get into drugs or anything like that, but alcohol.
Yeah.
Chased a few women, trying to soothe my pain. And one night, my daughter came out and she said, Dad, you promised Mom you weren't going to do this. And I said, you're right. And I went out onto the lawn of the ranch, laid on my back. I looked up into that sky and I said, God, what's going to become of me? And I heard, I've given you all the tools. You just have to use them. I got up off my back and I started writing. And out of that writing came the book Expectation Therapy, which is a book about my healing myself and how you can heal you through God's grace and word and faith. It's different. I didn't write the book. God wrote the book. All came out of my heart. and he's in my heart. So he wrote it. And just been a journey. It's been a journey. I mean, but it's God's miracle. It's how God works. I wondered all these years what it was that he wanted of me and what he wanted me to do. I mean, he brought me through Vietnam, could have taken my life many, many, many times. Throughout the years at work and just traveling and all the things. I think about the times, driving in a car when somebody pulls in front of you and you go, wow, another instant and I would have been gone. Well,
His
you better
provision.
listen.
Yeah, his protection. And I
Yeah.
just think, I mean, I had so many questions as you're sharing that, from like your parents seemingly like not being present, having that element of rejection, and yet you went to the pasture, the hillside, and you laid down and you talked to God. So that leads me to believe that there was some sort of like faith system developed in your home. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
So our faith system was my
Yeah.
parents would put me in the car, drop me off at the church on Sunday morning. 2 hours later, after Sunday school and church, they would pick me up, and that was it. My parents didn't go.
Okay.
Um, I think my faith really began going up in that hill.
Yeah.
My,
That's what
my
it sounds
faith,
like.
my faith and belief system became so strong. You could not convince me that there was not a God in Jesus Christ. You could not shake me on that a bit. I don't care who you were or what you said.
I
It
love
just-
that. And it's
it-
interesting because my son is 9, and he's recently been, back in school for this year. And we've heard, different people have different beliefs naturally, and some little ones who are just like, God's not real. Right. And we raise our kids in a way, in a space to, God is real. And here's the proof. Here's the evidence. Let's talk about this. How do you feel? What do you talk to him about? Let's have our nightly prayers. Like, I want him to understand the relational God that I know, that I didn't always know through religion. And so I'm like curious about that. Like, faith that journeyed with you, that he was with you in all of these like wild predicaments. I mean, I can't even imagine the things that you've seen or experienced, even just through Vietnam.
Going back to your son and how to convince him, or I don't want to say convince, it's not convince him, how to teach, how does he learn?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to learn by experience and watching you and the people around him. That's how he's going to learn. Because as you know, if you've witnessed to people, there's people that you can't witness to who no matter what you say about belief and bring up different scenarios. But you know what? One thing I learned in Vietnam, a lot of guys that didn't believe in God in Vietnam, you know what they said when it was time for them to go?
His name, probably.
Yeah, God help me.
Yeah.
God help me.
Wow.
A lot of people,
Yeah.
that non-believers, that instant when and you've gone through the experience and you've gone through the traumatic things and you've seen it and you've gone through it, it changes your perspective and it changes your heart.